Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are filming this just a few days before Tesla's earnings call, where a lot of different things are going to be asked, and a lot of different stuff is of course going to come to light. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But of course, just before this, we have some latest Tesla news to speak on. Now obviously the share price over the past couple of days has been quite flat. You guys are going to be aware of that. We're going to wait to see if there's any move on that, and of course we are going to wait for those earnings. So if you want to have a breakdown of them, make sure to subscribe as we are going to be covering that. One thing that we've been seeing in Tesla recently though is how the Cybertruck is becoming cheaper and cheaper. More discounts and production cuts. We spoke about this extensively. Essentially what it is the Cybertruck isn't selling as initially anticipated. The numbers are down for the Cybertruck sales, and workers are being taken off the line and supposedly put onto different manufacturing lines for different products, like the Model Y. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this affects the Cybertruck going forwards and how this affects Tesla. Now, of course, the Cybertruck isn't really Tesla's main vehicle. It's not exactly their most popular vehicle, and I don't think it was ever expected to be. However, even then, the demand is obviously not meeting the supply. The supply seems to be much greater, and now we are seeing a cheaper model of the Cybertruck actually come to market. We'll see if that impacts stuff at all. Now do be aware guys, and this is something that we've been speaking about for a long time, but Tesla's sales across Europe are still down quite significantly overall. If we have a look, Tesla's sales down about 40% across Europe as the Elon Musk backlash grows. We are already aware of this, and we know that in some countries the numbers are more significant than that. But for a bit of context, the company sold fewer than 17,000 cars compared to 28,000 in the same month in 2024. With a market share of 1.8 compared to the 2.8 seen just 12 months ago. Now, the European Automobile Manufacturers Association said that Tesla has sold 42.6% fewer cars in Europe, whilst total new car sales were down 3.1% in the same period in 2024. Those for battery electric vehicles, like Tesla, were 26.1% higher. So what does this mean? For a bit of a breakdown. Basically what it means is, yes, less cars are selling, but as a proportion of cars selling, electric cars are becoming significantly larger of a percentage. So in theory, this should be something that Tesla is picking up. However, as you guys know, with the competition that we're seeing in Europe from European manufacturers like BMW and Mercedes and Audi, from the competition that we're seeing in Europe from Chinese manufacturers like BYD and others, it's a bit harder for Tesla to compete than it might have been, say, 5-10 years ago. Then we can have a look at this news. Now, someone else has been charged with the firebombing of the Tesla Cybertrucks at a dealership. Now, this is just a quick issue to touch on. We don't need to go into details of it. But somebody, Owen McIntyre, 19 of Kansas City, was arrested and made an initial court appearance on Friday in the U.S. District Court of Massachusetts. So, you guys can already see this person allegedly was arrested after allegedly launching a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla dealership in Missouri whilst home on spring break. Now this is quite interesting because we're seeing more and more names come forwards, more and more people being essentially charged, and all sorts of stuff to do with this trend. And this is kind of the backlash that we expected. You know, if people don't want to buy Tesla cars, personally I have no issue with that, right? That is the appropriate way to protest. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it, and the sales numbers will dip. And I've said this before, personally, just my opinion, I don't think that this sort of stuff is okay, right? People should not be damaging property like this. A lot of the cars which are being damaged are property of individuals. It's not fair and it's not right. So we are seeing more and more names come forwards as people get charged of these crimes. Then we have Tesla also dropping past a key point in America's EV market, and this is of course California, where the automaker's sales dropped below 50%, yet again, even as electric vehicles increased as a whole. So they are now no longer selling the majority of electric cars registered in the US's biggest electric vehicle market. They've lost a significant amount of ground in California, which accounts for almost a third of all zero emissions purchases in the whole country. According to a publication, Tesla's share of the state's electric vehicles sold dipped to 43.9% in the first quarter, down from 55.5% a year ago. Yet again, likely to be a number of reasons for that, and we'll dive into this in its own video because it is quite interesting and actually quite significant for a brand like Tesla. But we're seeing sales in most of Tesla's markets do stuff like this. You know, whether we look over in Europe, whether we look in places like California, the US as a whole, China, so many markets are seeing Tesla's vehicles basically just not sell the units that they once did. And in a lot of these markets, actually most of them, is at simultaneous times where electric vehicle sales are also increasing. It's really quite interesting to see, but this is the reality of the situation, guys. I just wanted to bring you a quick video on all of the latest, as Tesla's market share seemingly does continue to drop. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, guys, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.